Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to day 8 of our 21-day fast. And yes, if you joined us a little later and you might be on day 3 of the 21-day fast, keep going. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's just important that you join in, that you enter into this time. We're doing this as a congregation together, as a community. So God bless all of you. Today's devotional, which I did like, is talking about not the past, but talking about things we're going through at this present time. Problems we're facing in our lives, things that depress us, things that are derailing us, any number of things. There may be a bad diagnosis that we just got. It may be a job that we lost. It may be a job that we have to go to that we wish we could lose, but we don't have a choice. All of us. Can you believe it? It's 2 years since COVID started in this country and around the world, and here we are 2 years later. And we're on lockdown again, virtually, and we're wearing masks, or we ought to be. Who knew? Who would have guessed? But here we are. So the devotional is talking about, during this time, open my eyes to things that can derail my walk with the Lord, that can hinder my walk. No, it doesn't mean we're going to lose our salvation, but it does mean that we can distance ourselves from God. It does mean we can be disillusioned. It does mean we can be so depressed it's hard to even get out of bed. A friend was talking about just a couple of days ago, as we can't go out again. Once again, we can't go out the way we were even a few months ago. For those people who are living by themselves, how difficult that can be, the different challenges that are faced there. So it's real, the things that we're facing. So what does the Lord want us to open our eyes to? The thing I want to talk about today is probably more important, not probably, it's more important than anything else I will ever say during these 21 days. We can talk about having an attitude of gratitude, which we should. I talked the other day about perspective, all the things we talked about through this devotional time. The thing I would pray for and ask us to open our eyes to is, how well do we know the Lord Himself? Because in times of suffering, in times of challenges, there are times when nobody else can understand. Nobody else knows what we're going through. No one else, even if they can try to, no one knows what you're facing other than Him. It's an opportunity to really get to know Him. I remember years ago, I was in the middle of a lawsuit, a discrimination lawsuit against my employer. This would have been years ago. And I was being talked about, I was being dogged, and I was being discriminated against at this, I won't name them, but that this employer that would not hire me, and they told me they wouldn't hire me. They said, Dallas is not ready for a black female vice president. So I had a lawsuit going on, and nobody at the job was talking to me. I was alienated. It was so difficult, but I knew the Lord was telling me that this was a call. This was something I was called to do, to break down these barriers at this particular, it was a bank at that time. And so I remember sitting in my office at that bank, and I was just crying, and I was just forlorn, and I couldn't believe I was in the situation. It was unfair, and it was. And I'm not making light of it. It was terrible. But I remember I sat there, and I had my head in my hand, and I heard this voice. It was just as clear as day. And it said, and it was from the Lord. It said, I bet you talk to me now. That is really, really true. So what does it mean to know the Lord? I grew up going to church. I did not grow up saved. I went to church every Sunday growing up. But I didn't understand what it meant when people would come up to me and say, do you know the Lord? Well, no, know what? Know what about Him? And I did. I knew a lot of things. And it was my father-in-law. He wasn't my father-in-law at the time. But when I started dating my husband in our early stages, Reverend Claiborne Autry, we were living in Los Angeles, and he and I went on a walk, a couple-mile walk, and we were just talking. And he is the one who explained to me that it is the difference between knowing who the president is and knowing the president. So current day, I know who Joe Biden is. I know who Vice President Kamala Harris is. I know lots of things about President Joe Biden. I know lots of things about Kamala Harris. I don't know them at all. I don't know Joe, and I don't know Kamala. And by the way, they don't know me either. It's a vast difference to know things about Jesus, to know lots of facts, and to know Jesus himself. And during my times of trouble, during my times, especially in times of suffering, those are the times I can get to know him, and I do get to know him better. We can take a chapter from David's life. If you look at the Psalms and you look at how David really talked to the Lord, what people who betrayed him, he said, Lord, take them out, kill them, kill their third and fourth generation. It's terrible. The things he wrote, it wasn't right. Don't get it wrong. It wasn't right, but it was honest. David had a relationship with the Lord where he could talk to him. And that's what the Lord is inviting us to do. So whether you live alone or whether you feel lonely living with someone, whether you're happy living with someone, it doesn't matter. The Lord Jesus Christ is the one who calls us to get to know him. I'm going to close with this. Years ago, I was at Arena Christian Fellowship, now known as Christ Community. And I was in the middle of a worship song that we were singing, and I think it was, Lord, I love you more than anything. It was something along those lines if it wasn't that song, but I think it was that song. And in the middle of singing that song, I actually had to tell him, no, I don't. Yeah, pastor's wife, in the middle of singing a song. Now, that doesn't mean I hated him, nothing like that. I didn't love him more than anything. I could have named a lot of things, including myself, that I love more than I love the Lord. But that was a confession. That's part of our relationship. And you know what? He didn't strike me down. He didn't air my dirty laundry. It wasn't even dirty to him. He said, good. Thank you. Thanks for telling me that. Now we can work on that together. And I can tell you today, I love him more than anything. Anything. Anyone and anything, including myself. But that has come through suffering. That has come even in high times. Getting to know him. And I'm still getting to know him. I don't have this on lock. Getting to know him. So during this time of fasting, open our eyes, Lord, to getting to know you in the midst of all that we are going through. God bless you. We'll see you the next time.